Easy Sports Talk Show. Javon Adams and Ed Smith. He is Ed Smith. Not only did he play professional baseball, but he also played in the National Football League for that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. He is an author. He is a motivational speaker. My name is Javon. You can call me Jay or J Love. I'm just a dude that hangs out with the big dudes. So what is good, my brother?
Chilling, man. Had a great weekend, and here we are back at it. A lot of football, man. You know, it's funny. The baseball, they do such a poor job of like promoting through their season, and it's almost like, I mean, we're in football season now, right? And
Yeah.
it's like a baseball should be like thriving down the stretch. Otani, get ready for the playoffs, and it's like invisible right now. I remember when baseball was such a huge thing. Football has come such a long way
Yeah.
in its performance on weekdays. The 2 Monday night games tonight, Thursday night games. I mean, and
You
baseball
sound like
just,
a kid in a candy store, man,
I'm
right now,
serious,
especially the two games tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like paying for all this stuff. Thursday night football, prime, and bro, this is crazy. But it's amazing where football has come in terms of how we consume it, and baseball just gets lost in the shuffle these days. Playoffs season, get 162 game season, get ready to finish. Playoffs getting ready to start, and
Right.
you wouldn't even know it, man.
But you've been paying attention to a little bit of the phenomenal
Yeah,
stuff that Otani's been doing, right? I mean, he's been doing some
absolutely,
phenomenal stuff.
absolutely. I
Even though he's
mean,
striking out, he strikes out a hell of a lot, though. He strikes out a lot. He's don't get me. I'm not saying, but he's good, but he strikes out a lot. I'm saying he's great, and he strikes out a whole hell of a lot.
that's just the nature of the game now, though. I mean, look at some of these players, like over my man over in Philly. He's basically his
Yeah,
home run, walks, or strikes out. That's the three things he does. Has more home runs than singles. I mean, that's just the new philosophy, bro. If you would have told me back in the day when I was playing, we don't expect you to hit for average. You can hit 220 and still make the big leagues because all we want you to do is hit them at the ballpark. I mean,
man.
bruh, I mean, golly, just exit velocity. That's the only thing I'd have been worried about. I'd have been like, yeah, that one was off the bat. That was 110 off the bat, bruh. But I was 1 for 5. But that one was great. I'm out there trying to hit for average.
All right.
Golly.
So we are in what, week 3, right? In the
Yes.
NFL, right? Okay. So the Las Vegas Raiders lost to the Panthers. And in the post-game presser, the head coach, Antonio Pierce of the Raiders, did you hear this?
Yes.
I'm going to throw this out. He said that some players on the team were already making business decisions. That can't be, right? I mean, so that's my question to you is, do players make business decisions in week 3? This is not supposed to be a dumpster fire of a team. Do they start making business decisions in week 3, or is he just trying to find ways to motivate teams? Not me. I didn't do that. You'll see next week when we play that I'm about to set fire. It's going to be like my butt is on fire, right? I mean, do they make business decisions in week 3?
Here's the thing: their loss to the Carolina Panthers shows you the difference from one week to the next, from the highest of the highs, beating Baltimore last week and the comeback victory, all that kind of stuff, to embarrassing yourself. When I say embarrassing yourself, they never showed up for this game. And for somebody like Antonio Pierce, or not Antonio Pierce, but I'm talking about the head coach. He did not play like this. What we saw last night, and he's not an X and O guy. He lets his off coordinators do all the coaching of the specific offense and defense we're running. This dude is he is a CEO. He's a dude that walks around.
Is that like Harbaugh too? Harbaugh from the Ravens or Harbaugh, because he was the special teams coach.
He's a special teams coach.
Is that okay?
He more than likely, in my opinion, probably dabbles on the defensive side a little bit, meaning he probably spends more time, and then obviously special teams and stuff like that. But he's a good example of probably a mid-level CEO as well. But Pierce, man, when all you're doing is watching for performance, and that's your main goal, is just to make sure everybody's giving it everything they got, and then you see something like that. Now you say, can it happen in week 3? What he's talking about is once the game got out of hand, because he's a guy that's waiting. He wants dudes flying around with their hair on fire, regardless of what the score is. We saw yesterday, there was, you don't go from what we've seen with the Panthers the first couple weeks, replace your quarterback, and then with Andy Dalton of all people, and he comes in and looks like Joe Montana in one game. It doesn't get it should not go from that bad to that successful in a matter of not even a full week. I mean, a half a week, but that was aided by the Las Vegas Raiders players for whatever reason. I put a lot on that game. I put a lot of points on it. I even threw it into a parlay because I knew that was going to be a massacre. I just knew the way they played last week. I just thought they were going to get after it. And from the very first snap, it was like, oh, God, this is not looking good. It's not going good. And as a head coach, here's the thing. I was talking to somebody the other day. We were talking about this particular subject. I was on a team. It was my second year in Atlanta. It was a Super Bowl team, as a matter of fact. I was talking to my brother because we went to breakfast on Saturday with a good friend that we've known since we were both in high school. And we were talking about some of the things that happened. And we brought up, I remember we went out, we were 2-0, went out to play the San Francisco 49ers. My brother was on that team. We got embarrassed. We got beat down, right? We had to get on the plane and go all the way back across the country. One of our DBs, he's going up and down the aisles, and he on and all that. Bruh, we get in the meetings on Monday. Where my man at? Locker cleaned out. Bruh, he got released. Woo. And so for me, if he is serious, if he saw what he thinks he
said,
saw,
we'll make business decisions too. That's what he said in the press conference. Yeah,
that's what if he was just using words, then nobody will get cut, and he'll give everybody a stern tongue lashing. He seems like the type, though. They're gonna look at the film today, and come this afternoon, because the coaches here's the thing: the coaches have already seen the film. Yeah. They get back. We go home. They're going right to the lab, because by the time you get in Monday, that thing has been cut up, spliced. Every coach has seen it 2 or 3 times because they watch it together as a group first. Then you watch it individually to grade your players. Meaning the tight end coach, he's going to watch every single play 2 and 3 times, grade every one of us. So by the time we get in, get our little weights in, get our little run in, and then it's meeting time, bruh, the verdict is already out there. All you can do is come and try to plead your case for, well, I thought I saw, I'll tell you what we saw. Either lack of effort, lack of knowing your assignment, lack of whatever it was. So they've already watched the tape. And there's a couple dudes, because we're way out here on the West Coast now, but there's a couple dudes that might have already been, because they're out in Vegas. They are getting in, they were in the workout room. This was 8, 9, there's some dudes who might be told to bring playbook to office.
Man.
And I guarantee you. You know what could happen these days too, Jay?
Yeah.
There could, because the practice squads are so big, and you don't have to be eligible for the practice squad. There might be some dudes that you need to reprove to me that you're dedicated to this cause. I see a dude out there working every week on the practice squad. He's not making the money you are because he's on the practice squad. We're going to elevate him, and I want you to go and learn your lesson. And if you don't, then you go there and somebody can come pick you up or whatever. But there might be some delegation or straight elimination. Some type of Asian is going on up in there today if he's serious. And I was watching that one and I was like, dang. Because like I said, I put a couple in there. I put that in a little parlay. I thought that was I literally thought that was one of the games I would just peek at every now and then because that one's going great. Man, that was a disaster. And as a fan, you got to look at that and you're like, I don't even know what to say. You don't even know what to say when they come out and play that bad against a team that everybody else has viewed as the doormat of the league. And they put Andy Dalton in there. You made Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton might go to the Pro Bowl if he played the Raiders every day, every week. Golly, that was bad.
All right, Easy Sports Talk Show. He's Ed Smith. I am Javon Adams. So, as a Laker fan, for some reason, when the Lakers drafted Devin George, I became a Devin George fan. He was second round pick. I forgot what school that he played at, but I was pulling for him no matter what. I just wanted him to play, and he ended up playing a little bit. He won a couple championships with the Lakers. He ended up going, I think, to Dallas at some point, and I was still pulling for the dude because I wanted to be proven right that he could be something. Are the people who are on the Sam Darnold on the Sam Darnold bandwagon, are they right now having the biggest "I told you so" parade ever because of the success that he is having early on with the Minnesota Vikings?
That's a great question. I don't even know if it's an "I told you so." I think it might be more, man, I'm happy for him just because what he's dealt with to this point. The dysfunction of the Jets. And we've seen what they can do just Zach Wilson, you run down the list of quarterbacks they brought in there, destroyed by the environment alone, and then what they put them out there on the field with. And then Darnold, he got sent for a reward. He got sent to Carolina, which we were just talking about how bad they are. He finally gets early release. They put him on house arrest. He got to go out to San Fran and be not start, but back up Purdy, right?
Yeah.
And he finally got his full release. Hey, we pardon you. You can go live your life. All your records are expunged and everything. Go to Minnesota and live free. And in that process, even Minnesota tried to replace him because they went out and drafted McCarthy, and he was hey, he's got to fight for that job. And the good Lord said, you know what? That's yours. I'm not even gonna let them take that from you. So McCarthy, you go sit down for a year. There's not going to be any controversy here. We're not going to wait for that one bad game that Darnold has, and everybody's going to be crying for McCarthy. Nah, you go sit down for the year. This is yours, Sam. You've earned it. Because he's been have we ever heard a bad thing about the dude? With everything going on from the Jets to Carolina, backing up in San Fran, this dude ain't said a word. He's going out there and doing his job. That's why I root for him, because I know that journey, where he's been and what he's been through. And it's not like all of a sudden now he's like, man, that he's the best quarterback since. No, he's out there just doing a job for a team and a coach that all believe in him now, because you got to remember, he was a castaway, and he comes in there, and, a lot of people down on the Vikings. They're going to probably finish fourth in the division, because, man, all he's doing out there is going out and balling. I couldn't be more happy for him. I guarantee his teammates, because they see that stuff too. They see where he's been, what he's going through. He's humble dude. He gets here. Man, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. I guarantee you there's a couple dudes are down with him. That whole team and organization is down with him. That's why everybody's happy to see he's doing what he's doing. Now, there's some people, like I said, over-exaggerating it a little bit. For me, it's just a simple fact. Where he's been, what he's been through, it's good to see somebody good. I actually picked the Vikings to win that game too. As much as I love Stroud and what's going on down there in Houston, I was like, and I told you in our other podcast, I'm like, man, Minnesota, if you don't want to be going in there to play their defense. They can be different on the road, but there in that dome, that's nastiness right there. And all Sam is doing is just chipping in, doing his job on the other side. So they could be the surprise team of 3-0 now, surprise team of the year so far. One of them.
Easy Sports Talk Show. He's Ed Smith. Javon. I'm Javon Adams. So you mentioned we do the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast, and so that's every Monday and Thursday. You can go just search Believe, BLEAV, in the Arizona Cardinals wherever you find your podcast. Take a listen, and we do appreciate it. But you talk about identities in the most recent pod there. So in terms of early on, so week 3, we still have a couple of games to be played Monday night. Which team's identity are you the most impressed with, and what is their identity? So if there's one team that there could be many that you're impressed with, but just one team whose identity you are impressed with, and what is their identity if you had to think of one?
I'm looking at it. I'll tell you one. We just talked about it. Minnesota.
Okay.
What Brian Flores is doing with that defense, he's got quarterbacks coming, and they've had a couple of good teams coming there into their dome. He's had a couple good quarterbacks seeing ghosts on the field. We've seen him what he did to Purdy, and Purdy actually went to Brian Flores after the game last week, and he like gave him a hug and was like, "Man, your defense is something else." So for a quarterback to admit that, knowing all the microphones and everything out there, he just wanted to let him know, man, that was a hell of a game plan. I don't know what you were doing, but that was good. And then we saw what he did to C.J. Stroud this past week.
Yeah.
And it was the kiss of death. They were talking about before the game. C.J. Stroud hasn't thrown an interception since November of last year. He holds a man. That ball started getting thrown around, and all of a sudden the other color was catching him. And I was like, that was the jinx of all jinxes. So what they've done, their identity is our defense is going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to disguise some stuff. You're not going to know what it is until it's too late. Offensively, we got a weapon in Jefferson. We got a quarterback that everybody, and then a running game too. They've got all facets. They went out and got Aaron Jones, who I got on one of my fantasy teams, running the rock. You're passing it to Jefferson. Addison, he hadn't even touched the field yet. Hawkinson is still out. I got him sitting on my bench. He'd probably be back after the bye week. They got weapons that they haven't even been able to take off the shelf. They're 3-0. Now, we all know what the NFL is, and they over the next 3 weeks, they could look like the worst team in the league because we've seen what Dallas and Baltimore and some others have done. But right now, they have showed me a ton in terms of going from what a lot of people thought could be the worst team in their division. So they might be fighting for a 1 or 2 seed by the end. The other, the nominee I would give recognition to, what the hell is Tomlin and them doing over there in Pittsburgh? 3-0. I mean,
black man.
Yes, indeed. They are 3-0. Once again, cruising toward a non-losing season. Non-losing record in 15, 16, 17 years, however it's been. How he does it, I don't know. But he just does it, bro. I mean, he took some pig's knuckles and, some grind and stuff like that. He come out with a distance like, that's not half bad. I get down with that. Somehow, some way, they just get it done over there without even having a quarterback. So,
oh man. So he is Ed Smith. I am Javon Adams. We do this thing 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I had to be remiss that you real quick. I'm gonna throw this with you, this quick jab, and the round's gonna be over. Your man Dion, they ended up winning that game.
Don't want to talk about it. I don't know what you're talking about. I was so pissed off watching my television. The Baylor, what they did, their whole organization, they should fire everybody in the organization, in that school, coach, everybody. They should all be fired. To make me have to sit there and watch what they did, that was just disgusting. So yes, they are 3-1. We'll see who their next opponent is, who I have to root for, and go on from there.
Oh man, make sure you go to easysportstalk.com, easysportstalk.com. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Easy Sports Talk Show, The Easy Sports Talk Show, and tell a friend about what we got going on here. And until next time, as we always like to say around this time, you can